Hello and welcome to High Point Music's Gear Reviews. I'm Lewis, and in today's episode I'm going to take you through one of my favourite pedals, the Ronsound Hairpie Classic. So the Ronsound Hairpie Classic is a 70s or very early 70s big muff based on the triangle era big muffs, the very first production models of those pedals. It's got that classic rich sound that the big muffs have and a little bit of a mid scoop going on, but a really cool range of distortion sounds from a reasonably mild distortion through to a pretty saturated sound. So I'm going to show you some lead sounds and some rhythm sounds and what you can do with it. So let's have a listen. First up, I've got my clean tone. I'm playing my Fender Stratocaster, running through my loop pedal for ease of production into the Ronsound Hairpie. We're coming out of the Hairpie into our 2 notes clean, which is going off to our DAW. This is what my clean tone sounds like on the bridge pickup. My neck pickup. So let's get stuck into it. We've got 3 very basic controls. We've got our volume control, which is obviously the overall volume of the pedal. Our tone control, the classic tone stack. More bass on this side, more treble on this side, as in more bass here, more treble here. And the sustain, which is our gain or our clipping sounds. We'll start off with a low gain sound, which is our sustain right down. I've got the tone at about 1 o'clock just to give it a little bit of brightness. So as we turn that sustain up, we're going to get more clipping. You definitely hear that jump from minimum to about 8 o'clock. And then a pretty reasonably simple big muff sound there at only 9 a.m. You dial that forward. You're getting a lot more sustain and a lot more of the sound of the pick on the strings. Getting higher there. That raspiness or the Velcro-like crunch is coming in a fair bit more once that tone control, that sustain control gets over that 12 o'clock point. And then at maximum there, you're getting all that high frequency and a lot more compression, but being a triangle era big muff, it doesn't get too muddy or too compressed, at least at this tone control setting. So if we dial that forward, it's getting very 60s buzzy kind of sounding. And you can get that to be pretty bright and washed out. Almost like an AM radio filter, and it does do that over a range of the gain control. I'll dial that back. So it dies off a bit after 9 o'clock, but you can really hear all that bass being cut out by the tone control. Even at maximum sustain, which will give a lot more bass response. So we'll go the other way. It gets a real honk to the tone. It's a pretty muddy kind of sound there. I'm not sure how usable it's going to be at those settings, but it doesn't take much just to brighten that up a bit. And we're getting back towards a pretty classic big muff sound. So there you go, there's a very quick run through on the Ronsound Hairpie Classic. There are a couple of other Hairpie models. There's a ram head and a slightly later model available as well. I do like this version because it has the least amount of gain and it gives you the least amount of compression and a really nice amount of upper harmonics because of that lack of gain saturation that this particular model sounds like. The tone control works really well. I'm probably not going to use it too far below 9 o'clock on the tone control, but definitely on maybe a Telecaster or a Jazzmaster, having that range and being able to dial it back is going to give you some classic 70s, 80s, 90s alternative sounds, as well as some really doomy, sludgy sounds if you like down tuning and playing a bit of that heavier style of music. So one of my favorite fuzz pedals, I'm pretty happy to have shown it to you. If you're interested in picking one up, you can follow the link below. There's also a link there for the blog where I go into a little bit more detail about the specificities of the Triangle era Big Muff and why they sound different to later models. If you'd like to find out more about what's going on at High Point Music, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our social media. If you've got any questions, comments or suggestions, you can leave them in the comments below or on our social media again. So of course, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next episode.